It just feels like once Disney came out with Tangled, they never looked back.
Daddy, look.
Where are you going?
If it wasn't for Tony, oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you for tuning back in. I'm back with another video, and this is going to be a discussion video, right? There's a lot going on in the Disney universe. D23 was like a week ago, and there's so much to discuss. And the topic that I actually agree with is Disney's erasure of 2D animation, that classic hand-drawn animation. Now, to me, the 2D animation is that classic hand-drawn animation that Disney became known for. That's what was available back in the day when they first came out with Snow White. And you got to see the beautiful colors. It was like artwork coming to life with the color cells and the whole process they had, and drawing all the pages, putting them all together, adding the color. The whole process was amazing to look at. Imagine back in 1937 when they came out, seeing that for the first time in theaters. All of their movies in the beginning had that 2D animation, which was, to me, easier on the eyes, right? You had Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella. Then you think about the Renaissance era with the Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Pocahontas, Mulan. And those are classics. The Lion King, which we also going to get into, classics. I remember watching those on VHS back in the day. You know, now it's on streaming. How times have changed, right? But now it seems like every Disney project, every major Disney movie, whether it's a Disney princess movie or some new movie they do at Pixar, the main animation they use is the CGI 3D animation. And it's like they completely forgot about 2D. They may incorporate little elements of it here and there, but CGI took over.
What if you don't come back?
That classic 2D animation was always smooth to me. It was easier on the eyes for me. Like I said, sometimes I feel like with CGI, with certain scenes, especially high action scenes, it could be like overstimulating to look at. With 2D classic animation, there's like a seamless flow to it.
Tribulations, you know I've had my share.
For example, look at this classic Tarzan clip. You see the comparisons of it? Look how smooth it flows. Look at the fluidity of it. This style is just unmatched, in my opinion. You see how easily it flowed through the sketches? Now imagine that as a live action with CGI. I don't think it would really look the same. It wouldn't really have the same effect. For more context, it seems like 2009's The Princess and the Frog was the last Disney movie that was like 2D animated, that they really put time and effort and marketing into, especially as a Disney princess movie. That was like their last true 2D hand-drawn animated movie. It did okay, you know, it made more than the budget, but it didn't exceed their expectations.
Well, you wish on that star, sweetheart.
Because The Princess and the Frog didn't perform that well, especially as a Disney princess movie. That's where a lot of people on the Disney team was like, no, we're gonna move into the CGI, the 3D, like the new technology. 2D, that was the past.
That's just gonna have to wait a while.
We gotta progress with the times, and to them, progressing with the times was using this new technology. 3D, CGI. Things would look more realistic, like the hair follicles. You can see the elements like snow and rain and the bricks in a wall. Everything was more detailed. You see, because with the technology and style of CGI, you could do things like show every hair follicle, show the lighting and shadows and shade with the hair and the movements and the environment and the backgrounds. We get it, but that's not the only style that was loved. You can still bring back those 2D elements.
Can you come up with something else? Can you come up with something else?
After The Princess and the Frog did okay at the box office, that next year they came with Tangled.
I can't believe I did that!
Which was their take on Rapunzel. And it did really well blending that hand-drawn style with the new 3D CGI style. But it was clear when you watched the movie, that the 2D animation was overshadowed by all of the CGI, especially with all the effects they had to use on her hair. And Tangled performed much better at the box office than The Princess and the Frog. So you see how Disney is looking at this like, oh, okay, see, now we're doing CGI, we're doing bigger box office numbers. This is the main animation style we're gonna stick to.
Nothing more, nothing less.
After that, you have movies like Brave, which had similar success to Tangled, making over 500 million. And then we got to 2013's Frozen, which made over $1 billion at the box office. Do I even need to say any more? Do I even need to explain the phenomenon that Frozen was and still is? After Frozen, I feel Disney truly never looked back, and it was all about advancing the CGI technology to show more details in this, more details in that, really showing, look how beautiful, look how advanced animation has got. Okay, we know about the 2D animation from back in the day, you know, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 30s with Snow White, but look at this new technology. Look at the snow, look at the snowflakes, look at the ice crystals in the Frozen movie. Look how their hair moves when they ride the horse. You know, that was like a big thing. And once again, 2D hand-drawn animation just fell to the wayside. But to me, that classic hand-drawn animation, it just has such a sense of nostalgia with it. It's such a beautiful animation style to look at. To me, it was always like looking at the pages of an illustrated book come to life.
You can do anything you set your mind to.
And talking about this came the news of the Tiana series, which is taking about 5 decades to come out.
Oh my God.
When it was first announced, it was said that it was going to be in 2D. They was going to bring back that classic 2D animation you saw with the Princess and the Frog movie for the Tiana series, and people was excited like, wow, okay, we finally getting that 2D back. But someone close with the show recently came out and tweeted that it was not going to be that 2D hand-drawn animation that people loved and people were so excited to see again. It was going to be more of like a hybrid animation style. It was said the upcoming Tiana series will not use 2D animation and will instead have a hybrid animation style. According to journalist Drew Taylor, it's not completely hand-drawn. It's a hybridized style. Think Spider-Verse, but not as extreme. You see, Disney was going to go for that 2D hand-drawn style, but then they thought about it, was like, nah, that's not gonna work. We're trying to move forward. So they had to add some pizzazz to it, make it a hybrid. They don't think that 2D is gonna work anymore. Now, don't get me wrong. In many of their movies, using the 3D CGI style, it's proven to be amazing, greatly detailed, beautiful to look at as well. But I feel like over time, over the last 15 years, Disney has lost its balance with using both. You know, the main thing can be 3D, but certain elements have like that classic hand-drawn style that you can see like interloped and mixed and blended well. They lost that balance that they had with Tangled when that came out, or even that they had with Beauty and the Beast back in 1992. Remember that part where they danced and you saw the chandelier? Even the trailer for the new live-action Snow White, which that could be his own video. When that trailer came out, a lot of people were just flabbergasted at how terrible it looked, in some people's opinions, and just how it didn't have that same feel or look. Look at this clip somebody put together comparing the 1937 version to this new live-action version.
Now you wash the dishes.
Now you wash the dishes.
You tidy up the room.
You tidy up the room.
You clean the fireplace.
You clean those cobwebs.
And I'll use the broom.
And he'll use the broom.
That doesn't have the same charm. It doesn't capture the same emotion or the same heart or just the same feel. And it just looks nasty. I'm sorry, it just looks nasty.
Not on my watch.
2D animation from 1937 held up so well that you could look at Snow White today, even though they could upgrade it and make it like 4K and HD quality, you could look at what they made almost 100 years ago, and just still see those beautiful details and just the seamless flow of animation, and it was just amazing. With the CGI, I feel like they just trying to oversaturate it and put it in so many different things, and live action this, live action that, CGI this, CGI that. Every animal is CGI, and it's not looking that good. Even with the new Lion King movie trailer, Mufasa, that just came out, they're using CGI, that photorealistic style, 3D CGI animation with that, like they did with the other movie that came out a few years ago, and it just doesn't hit the same. Animals, the lions, can't even really emote like they did in that 1994 classic 2D style. This is how the lions look: happy, sad, confused. Like the faces, because it's supposed to be like a real lion, you think about it, in the real Serengeti, the lions, you watch these documentaries, you watch the animal specials, Animal Planet, the only time you can really see emotion from a lion is when they roar, you know, they show the teeth and they squinch up their face and they charge at other animals or they charge at prey. Other than that, they have that same look on their face. Whether it's a lion in the Serengeti or my cat Kiwi, most of the time they all just look like this. So to try to give that emotion like the original 2D Lion King had, it just doesn't translate as well. And for all of that, I could watch the real thing on National Geographic.
I would like to see it.
You see all these examples I'm giving y'all, you see how I feel like Disney is trying to just force this 3D CGI style into everything, every reboot, every live action that they do. They're trying to make the 2D hand-drawn style a thing of the past, and it doesn't have to be. So with all of this, I want to know your thoughts. What do y'all think about this? What animation style do y'all prefer? That classic 2D hand-drawn animation or that advanced CGI 3D style? Or like me, do you prefer like a blend of both? But honestly, because they gave us so much CGI, I wouldn't mind a movie full of 2D classic hand-drawn animation. Now I know, looking into it, looking at what animators have to say, some love it, the 2D style. Some think that it takes too long. You know, this is a lot of people on the team of Disney. They feel like it takes too long with the advances, with the technology. You can do this and do that. With hand-drawn style, it's just like you got to make all these pages for like a 20-second scene. You got to make hundreds of pages, and then you got to add the color to it. I get that element, but some animators love it. They love doing that. But I just feel like when it comes to their big movies, their big movie releases, the Disney Princess movies or any other movie that they put out with Pixar or just in general, everything is CGI, live action. And it just takes you out of it, where you could just tell like certain scenes just look so overly done. They look so fake. We know it's animation, but the CGI, it takes you out of that element where you just be like, okay.
But Dad, I saved his life.
But Disney is making billions off these movies, so I guess there's no turning back now. And another thing, for the Tiana series, are you excited to see it? Would you have liked to see it in the 2D classic hand-drawn style like the movie? Or are you excited to see it in this new hybrid style that was confirmed? Let's talk about this down below. I know this is a heavy, popular topic. I know a lot of people have differing opinions on it. I can't wait to read y'all's. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you for watching and listening. I'll see y'all in the next video.